Okay,
So
the education is the same. Education is the same. I just told you, I tried to take a negotiation skill course, and first of all, they're going to give us message to try to read 4 books. No, not do that. What is the core issue for negotiation skill? Okay, you can read 1 page this material before taking this course. I'm going to explain you more key point at the first. Then I'm going to explain the detail of the negotiation skill. But current education system is, first of all, they're going to start for history of negotiation, or they're going to start for the many people's thinking approach for negotiation. No. What is the core point for negotiation skill to get students will get for themselves, right? This kind of education style is not established yet. Okay, for example, my Saturday morning Confucius study is I just focus on what is the focal point is Confucius, what they try to teaching for us. Then we're going to step forward to consider more detail about for discussion. This kind of education style is not established. That the company professor, university education scholars and so forth, they try to teach traditional way of teaching. But traditional way, it means they are not focused on how to give them more core issue, core message within short time of period to get student more involved in detail to understand. So they are not focused on the target, what they should do. So this is my issue. And so that is, we're going to, now technology is very advanced. Okay, next step, how we're going to utilize this technology for more advanced, or understanding or utilization or so forth. Right?
But the key issue is indeed to get much deeper into into the mind and into the experiences and into the to basically the challenges that are faced by your customers, to really understand and know what is driving your customers. How do they make their money? How can I really become a partner instead of just supplying them with cars and then say, okay, good luck with them. We hope we don't see you back for a long time because we supplied a good car. Whether you make money with these cars, that's not of our concern. We sold you the car, that's it. But basically, if you want to become a business partner, you really need to understand, okay, why do people buy these cars? How do they make their money with it? What justifies them to make that kind of investment? And then if you think about that very deeply, then you will find answers as to, okay, so what can I do? How can I change? How can I use technology and the things that are going to happen to become much more a player that is targeting exactly those needs and not just churning out products, but become more and more part of the business challenges that my clients have.
Right.
So that is something that we need to become much more aware of. So not product oriented, but more oriented towards the business of our clients.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So oil, we talked about that. We talked about energy intensity last Saturday, where we see that the GDP generated on per unit of energy use is different per country. We should not compare apples with oranges, because we have countries with high GDPs and countries with low GDPs. In general, we can see that there is a path where we can see that countries that have a high productivity also tend to be rather energy inefficient. So it's moving down quickly from the top left to the bottom right. So which also contributes to the idea that basically productivity hasn't increased that much, because the way that we increased our output, the total productivity, total GDP, was just by adding more resources, more oil, more resources into our economy. We have peaked out at, in case of the US, 14% energy efficiency. So that, and why did the US economy grow further? Because we just used more resources. Now, why do countries like China and India are so much against these climate treaties? Because they say, well, thanks to these natural resources and the utilizations of these natural resources, you have been able to grow, to to actually grow your economy. And now you are denying us to do that because you actually spoiled the environment. So that's not fair. Now, looking at these kinds of graphs, that kind of underlines the ideas that these developing nations have, and say, well, okay, we need to increase our usage of these natural resources, otherwise we will not be able to move up. That's the discussion about.
Yeah, this one is last Saturdays I tried to summarize this video, but still I don't understand why this slide is important.
Well, basically,
what I'm talking about, energy. You said energy. This is the energy efficiency. You mean oil?
Yeah.
Or solar panel?
No, we're talking about oil. Solar panels in itself, they are not significant enough. They are not big enough to see this. But why do I show this slide? Because we were talking about energy consumption and energy efficiency. Rifkin is talking about that. He says, well, basically, we have peaked out on our energy efficiency. That means that we cannot increase our productivity without increasing our energy usage. We do not become much more energy efficient over time.
If you're talking about,
waste 86% of the energy in our production process.
But just before you discussed about oil will going to be disappearing. Instead, right. Solar panel and windmill will going to be more, or maybe the other energy, sort of, method will going to
thermal
be
energy. Yeah.
So, but oil efficiency, okay, 84% energy, actually oil consumption is misused or not well used, and we need to increase energy utilization. This is that I don't have make sense. So
well, basically, so basically, the point of this slide is that basically, if we are not very energy efficient, that means if we want to, we are growing, right? We're going from 6, 7, 8 billion people. If we want to do that and we get stuck into this oil economy, this second industrial revolution economy, then we can see that basically the demand for oil will increase dramatically because we are depending on oil. We are not energy efficient. That means that if we want to grow the economy, and we need to do that in order to feed all these people, then the demand for oil will increase, the price for oil will increase. And what we saw before is that if the demand and price for oil increase, then economic growth will come to a standstill. So we are stuck in a catch-22 situation. We want to grow the economy, but we get stuck because we are depending on oil. And so that puts a brake on our potential to actually grow the economy.
So
because we're working with finite resources.
So your message is, like the United States is very the GDP per capita is about for more than $40,000. This is not true. This is more than $50,000. But your recommendation is they need to consider more efficient way of how to use energy?
No.
What's the message for that horizontal bar? I don't understand this horizontal bar.
The horizontal bar
energy inefficient. You said many advanced countries is inefficient way of energy usage, right? But what does this mean?
Right. That means that basically their output per unit of energy used is about the same in let's say Poland, South Africa, Mexico. Their output per unit energy use is about the same in the US as it is in Mexico. And what we can see here is that these countries are very energy inefficient. They are also very low productive, but they're energy inefficient. If they want to grow their economy, then they need to go up. They need to use more of these energy inefficient means. So there is no place to grow anymore.
You mean more well utilized of oil?
Yeah, well, basically that's the point of Rifkin. He says, well, there is a very little chance of doing this because if we need to add more energy into the process of economic growth, right? Economic growth requires energy, and energy efficiency will peak out. In the case of the United States, 14%. In the case of Germany, 18.5%. In the case of Japan, 20%. Those are marginal increases, but oil is a finite resource. We cannot just increase the uses of oil, because if we increase the uses of oil, it will increase the price and it will reduce our potential for economic growth. So what we need to do is we need to switch to an infinite source of energy, which is sun. Because if we need more energy, we can use more sun, and it only costs the fixed investment, like putting the solar panel up. But once the solar panel is up, then we have hardly any more costs, hardly any variable costs anymore. So, in order to use, to make sure that the increased need for energy is met, we cannot get stuck in oil. We need to look for infinite sources of energy, and that is solar power, that is wind power, that is thermal power.
Right. So this message shows we need to switching from inefficient oil to more efficient sources of the other.
Yeah, but
right.
Basically, what it says is that efficiency is, we can expect only limited results from that. We can only expect, the ultimate result is to switch away from these limited energy sources, to accept the fact that we need a lot of energy for economic growth, and that we cannot take this energy from the limited supplies of oil, shale gas, things like that, because that will basically put pressure on demand and will give rise to speculation, and will increase the price and will put a brake on the economy. We need to switch away from fossil fuels, and we need to go to renewable energy, because that renewable energy will be infinite in its supply. Therefore, the marginal cost of these resources will become near to zero. And that means that we can basically increase the usage, because it will not cost a lot more. Only the fixed investments, only the interest that we need to pay on our investments that we need to carry. But it's completely different from the situation in oil.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I understand. But I don't appreciate this chart, because this every country, they much more focus on oil, but they need shifting to renewable energy. but this chat, this is a message, but it doesn't make sense on this chat. But I understand what you mean, what this person mean. Okay.
Okay.
So today we're finished.
Yes, we are finished. It's 9:05, and I need to start running.
Okay, you did very well summarized since last Saturday. It's very good. So what are you going to do this Saturday?
We're going to continue. We're going to look at Germany. We're going to continue with the Energiewende.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and then we're going to go back to the Rifkin movie again. So
Okay.
we're going to look at the smart infrastructure, net neutrality. We're going to look at the deep web and IoT.
By the way, who he is?
Who, Rifkin?
Yeah.
He's a policy advisor for Germany, China, and some other countries. He's also a writer. The zero marginal cost economy is one of his works, and he's so he's kind of a futurist, a political thinker and an advisor to countries.
He is very famous.
He's famous, yeah.
He is very good.
Yeah, he is very good.
Okay, thank you very much for today.
All right.
I'll see you Saturday, okay?
Thank you very much for joining.
Okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.
はい、皆さんこんにちは、雲野です。今日はですね、雲野塾の研修のプログラムをご紹介したいと思います。で、こういうふうなホームページありますけれども、ぜひですね、一度中身をご覧になっていただきたいと思います。今日はブーキューブさんのスタジオに来て、この収録をしておりますので、中身はこういうふうになってて、今最近ホットなね、グローバルリーダーの定義など書いてあります。で、特に経団連が作成しました、留学すれば英語ができて専門性を持つというだけではですね、グローバルリーダーになれないとここに書いてありますようにですね、仕事ができる、専門性を持つ、英語ができるだけじゃなくてですね、私どもの塾ではリベラルアースということと、それからもう一つは孫子の兵法、さらにはですね、日本の歴史というものを合わせて教えることによって皆さんが海外の欧米の方々と、もしくは華僑圏の方々と正々堂々と渡り合えるような人物を育成しようというふうなことを考えています。ここに次のスライドが出ておりますけれども、ここに書いてありますのはですね、さらに、私どもの雲野塾の中身につきましてはですね、欧米の資料しか使っておりません。また実際に雲野塾は英語でやっておりますので、英語の講師がこう話しておりますけど、学習はですね、日本の歴史をまだ教えて